Hello, this is Todd from Coex3D, and I wanted to go over something with you today. It's a common question that we get of what exact temps should we be printing at, what are printer profiles that we should be using for coax filament. That information is readily available on our website, and a lot of people apparently don't know that, so I wanted to share that with you. This card does come with each box of filament, and on the back of this card gives different printing guidelines. I want to show you what that will look like. So this is the front of the card. It just has some information about coax and how to get a hold of us. On the back of that card, you'll see that we show the recommended bed temps for different filaments that we have, what the extruder temp should be, just basic information that you would need for printing and getting started, but it really doesn't give you the full information that you'd need. What you'd really want to do is have the printer profiles. So to show that, we're going to go to our website, and here on Coex3D you can see the tab along the top which says resources. If you click on the resources tab, there's an option for filament slicer profiles. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And you'll see some different options for some very common slicer programs. Bamboo Studio, Cura, the Prusa Slicer, and Super Slicer are all options that are there. All of these are going to work essentially the same way, so find the slicer program that you're wanting to import our profiles into and select that. I'm going to click on Bamboo Studio. When I click on Bamboo Studio, I see then a drop down of all of the different filaments that Coex3D manufactures. It doesn't go by color, it just goes by filament type, and it's not going to matter whether you're using 1.75 millimeter or 285 or whatever the color is. You're just going to select the filament type. So I'm going to select Coex PLA plus silk and show you how to import that. I'm choosing that one in particular because the PLA plus silk is a variation of our normal PLA. You could probably use our PLA profiles and get a perfectly fine print, but you might not get the surface finish and the luster that the silk is capable of. This will have different profile adjustments for that. So I'm going to click on Coex PLA plus silk. From here, you're going to see a bunch of coding information on here, and you don't need to cut and paste or do anything with that. We've made it even easier than that. You're going to go over to the right side to the download icon and click on download raw file. You'll see that put it up into your downloads. Now from there, when I bounce over to my Bamboo Slicer program and I look at this, the first thing that of course you do when you are getting ready to slice for a file is you choose the filament type. You can see it preloaded Coex3D TPE. That must have been the last file or the last material type I was working with. When I click into that, here's all of the different options. When you first start off, you'll have all of the bamboo filaments. Of course, you'd expect them to be there. We're in Bamboo Slicer, but they also have generics, generic PLA. Here's a generic PLA silk. If I select that and I look at what the presets are on that, you'll see that they tell me to print that at 220 degrees at the nozzle using a bed plate temperature of 35 degrees. That probably would work fine, but it's not dialed in and optimized for coax filament. So we're going to close off of that and we're going to go to import. So up at the top, I click on File, and I have my drop downs here. And when I do import, you've probably used the import for the STL file, the step file, so on and so forth to bring your file type in. There's another option, and that's import configs. When I click on import configs, now it's going to take me to my downloads folder. And you'll see the file that we just downloaded, Coex PLA plus silk. So I'm going to double click on that. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring that information into Bamboo Studio. It says here, a config exists with the same name. Well, that's because I already have it loaded, but it'll ask me, do I want to override it? Sure, I can override it. And now, when I click on this download, I can find Coex PLA plus silk. So here's the one that I just put in. If I look real quickly at these profiles, you'll see that we recommend a nozzle temp of 235. We recommend a build plate of 60 degrees. There's a lot more information that just got transferred in than the basics. The volumetric speed rate is one that's very important. The flow ratio is important. Now, some of these you won't see a lot of difference between whatever Bamboo recommended. Some of them are going to be more dramatic. But this will allow you, when you print with Coex filament, that you're going to get the best results right out of the gate. Like with all 3D printing, there's always going to be some fine tuning that might be involved. Maybe your printer works a little bit different than ours. Maybe the model needs some fine tuning. But this will take care of most of the heavy lifting that we've already done for you. So I would encourage you to go onto our website, download the files for whatever slicer profile it is that you're using, and this might take some of the fear out of trying new materials, because you can do that for any of the materials that we manufacture. So I hope that this has been helpful. I do encourage you to do that, and we sure appreciate the business here at Coex3D, and we want you to have the best results that you possibly can.